Oh, hey, look, we're live. We're a live thing. Albeit with a game that really doesn't like being hooked in. Hooked in to Streamlabs, but what's new, am I right? What's new? We'll just give a couple of minutes to let everything settle down, let people get in here. Hopefully. See, I wanted to do a special thing. What with the announcement of all, of playing, hey Justin, of playing the first ever game that went live on the channel, right? Orcs Must Die, which surprised me. I didn't actually know it was the first game. I was like, was it XCOM or was it Lord of the Rings Online? And surprise, surprise, it was Orcs Must Die 2, the first game ever. The first game ever made. Let's try switching to good old Windows Capture. How about that? Let's see if that's a bit happier about the whole thing. Whole notion. Well, according to that isn't even a window. Let's see what we can do about that. Full window. There we go. How about that? No, according to that. Oh God! Oh God! Look at that! Isn't that a mess? Isn't that a mess? Hey, hey. No? Is that still not working? How is that not working? How is that not working? It's working on my thing. Infinite Streamlabs. Yes, indeed. Doesn't work when I tab into it, does it? I'm guessing now. Can select it in the preview window, but not outside the preview window. Well, this is off to a delicious start. Great. Oh. Would that be why? That would be why. Oops. I know what we've done. I know how we've messed up. Don't you worry your sweet little heads about it. Oh. Oh my word! This is getting this is turning somewhat nightmarish. That's fine. We're used to nightmares. We are used to nightmares. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Good lord. Good lord. Okay, we're in. Are we in? I think we're in. It looks like we're in. You should be seeing a lovely Orcs Must Die 2 background there now. There we go. Hurrah! Hallelujah! There we go. Hello and welcome, folks. What are we doing here? Well, what we're doing here, besides in a bit playing some delightful Orcs Must Die 2 as a celebration of the fact that it was the first game featured on ATCB Gaming, or as it was known back then, just A Town Called Bastard. Which, if any of you wondered what ATCB Gaming stood for, there you go. That's our pre-Watershed version of our name, ATCB Gaming. So there's quite a lot to talk about with what's going on with the channel and the future of the channel. I thought I'd kind of set the scene, this wonderful scene here as I am sat in an armchair, about what's happened over the channel over the last couple of years. Kind of give you a bit of a look behind the curtain of why things have slowed down. Some might say ground to a blistering halt. So much, and to let you know what's going to change and what's happening in the future, in the near future, the next few weeks, and how we're sort of pivoting / blindly leaping into the future with slightly adapted venture, I guess, is what I'd call it. So, as of a couple of years ago, we were a hot up and coming. We were a fairly modest-sized channel on YouTube, mostly getting our views through board game playthroughs, with some other kind of board game related stuff as well. We did a little bit of tabletop role playing. We did a little bit of video gaming. We started out almost pure video gaming, but then we picked up a lot more views doing the board gaming. And we were mainly a kind of a group of friends based here in York, playing board games, filming them, enjoying it, putting them out there, being a bit ridiculous, doing some crazy, weird, sometimes heavily unfunny skits at the beginning of videos. We were essentially a half-arsed shut up and sit down tribute act. And that was all well and good, and that was great, and we enjoyed doing that, and some people seemed to enjoy watching us do that, and that was a lot of fun. And some of that has kept going. We've had Pandemic Legacy off and on the channel. We've had a couple of other bits and pieces. We've had some video game stuff running. We've dabbled a little bit in the old Twitch. Here we are. I've been doing the Warhammer series with Alex, and blah, 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 blah. But you may have definitely noticed, given that we used to pump out, well, at the beginning of the channel, I did about 2 videos a day for about 6 months. Don't do that, folks. And then we settled into a kind of rhythm of we put out about one fresh new board game playthrough a week. We put out a bunch of other stuff as well, video games and the occasional, not vloggy thing, but sort of almost reviewy thing, like overviews of board games and stuff like that. And it was pretty regular, and it was mostly, a new board game every week, and we had the whole crew doing it and stuff like that. And then what happened? Well, life happened, is ultimately it, in a number of ways. Number one is that a lot of the members of our friendship group, having met, a lot of people had met through university here in York. And they went their separate ways at the end of their courses, as people do. And though we're all still buddies, and we also see each other a fair bit, depending on distance, it's not enough to get together and play board games all the time. We have experimented a little bit with the other stuff. We've got the tabletop simulator streams going on Fridays, and again, that's all well and good, and it's good fun, but it's just not the same thing, is it? The other element is that it's not been a great secret if you pay attention or follow social media or listen to the horrible self-deprecating jokes we make. I haven't had a particularly good couple of years health-wise, either in terms of mental health or my physical health either. And that has really prevented a lot of the work on the channel, because while everyone who's ever featured on the channel has put work in and turned up and put their time in and put a little bit of their heart and soul into this, and again, this is no great secret, I've always been the one who's kind of, I've done the editing, I've managed the channel, I've managed the schedule, blah 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 blah. And when the person doing that, hello Chris, speaking of the first things ever featured on the channel, look at this, Chris, listen to this music, doesn't it just bring out a nostalgic taste in your eyes? I have not had the best couple of years health-wise, and that has meant that progress on the channel has slowed down an awful lot, and that combined with people not being here, and we feel it's time to a certain degree put up or shut up. That's not the right phrase. Essentially, I felt it was time to either we have 3 options here. Either we can just carry on kind of bumbling along and putting out the occasional video, and that's not going to get us anywhere. I mean, that's not necessarily ever been the main motivation behind the channel anyway. Or I can trash this in and just go, okay, move on and do something else. Or we can pivot. and spin around a bit and try and find a new angle on stuff to work on, and a new angle on things to do, videos to make, things to put out there. And that's ultimately what we're going to do. And there were a number of things I thought about doing with this. The first choice, I guess, would have been to really refocus on board games. Find maybe some new people to feature on the channel. I'm not too keen about that for a number of reasons. Number one, I like the people I'm working with at the moment. I don't really want to add a load of new people to it. I'm grumpy and I'm old, and that's... Justin's made an amazing joke in chat. I will get to it. Yeah, I didn't particularly want to do that. So I thought, well, what's a thing we haven't really focused on that we could jump to kind of more fully and really throw ourselves into? And it's something that we've dabbled with a little bit. And it's something that we've done some short series and some videos on, but not really ever brought around as the main focus of the channel, and that is tabletop role-playing. It's odd how relatively little there has been of tabletop roleplay on the channel. And by the way, when I'm talking about the channel here, I'm primarily talking about the YouTube channel, right? Because the Twitch thing has barely just started for us. So, when I'm talking in grandiose terms about all the videos on the channel and stuff like that, I am referring to the YouTube channel. But yeah, tabletop role-playing isn't really a thing we've done an awful lot of, despite the fact it's something a lot of us have a lot of experience in. Just speaking for myself, I have run tabletop role-playing games for... It is coming up... I'm a couple of years shy of having done it for 30 years. That's crazy. That's insane. That's a huge amount of experience there. And I think with the group and with myself... usually like GMing stuff and whatever, we can actually bring a lot to the table. We can do some interesting stuff. I've been watching some actual play streams recently and thinking that's an interesting way of doing it. Oh, and that's an interesting thing. Maybe we can bring those together and have a presentation that works in a certain way or whatever. And you know what? That's what we're going to do. We are going to basically pivot to more or less exclusively... I'll have to add a caveat to that in a second. I'm explaining things in very rambling ways, I usually do. We're basically mostly pivoting to tabletop roleplay. Now, why I think that's a slightly confusing statement is because that makes it sound like ATCB Gaming is going to be pivoting to tabletop roleplaying. It isn't. What we're doing is setting up a new channel. We're setting up a new channel primarily run through Twitch, although the videos will end up on a YouTube channel as well. They'll be going on a specialised kind of VOD holding channel where people can watch them there. And there's a few reasons for this. The primary one is that the YouTube algorithm punishes you horribly, horribly, horribly for having different kinds of videos on the same channel. The primary thing... I mean, we already had that doing board games and video games. It was noticeable that we just didn't seem to get pushed in searches and stuff like that, even though, there were things where we had literally the only playthrough of a particular board game, and if you search for that board game playthrough, we turn up way down the list. And part of the reason for that is that the YouTube algorithm, like it's a magical one-note thing, essentially massively scales you back within the search engine if you're not really laser focused on one particular subject. And because of that, we decided that setting up a new channel was preferable. Obviously, this means we're effectively leaving a lot of our assets. Ooh, what a lovely way to talk about the subscriber base. We're leaving the subscriber base behind, essentially, although obviously it would be delightful if every single one of them came with us. And we'll be releasing some preparatory videos on the ATCB Gaming channel in order to set up for that. Hopefully port some people across if they're interested, if the role-playing thing interests them. Then we'll be doing that. But otherwise, most of our efforts will primarily be shifting to live streaming, tabletop role-playing. Certainly at this point in 2020, lockdowns, etc., via cam and mic sort of setups, via Discord. and then those videos will go to a specialized YouTube channel, and yeah, that's what we're doing. I will repeat like the names and kind of general information about this probably through this video and in other streams and in other videos on ATCB Gaming as the next few weeks go by. But the pertinent information, if you take anything away from this, is that we are primarily switching to doing tabletop roleplay streaming on a Twitch channel called Telling Tales RP. And then the video on demand from that will go to a YouTube channel just called Telling Tales. If I could rely on one of my lovely moderators to pop those terms in the chat for anyone who wants to, or even the links. The channels are up and running now. Please feel free to go to them and hit subscribe in either the heart or the bell format, depending on whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. But yeah, that's what's going to be happening, and it's going to be happening pretty soon, honestly. We have our first stream scheduled for the first week of September. Further details on that to be coming soon. The most obvious question I can think of off the back of this is, well, Matt, what is happening with ATCB Gaming? And the answer to that is, I don't really know. I suspect every now and then I'll get a yearning, or we'll get an opportunity to make some board game videos, to make some video game streams or videos or whatever, and they'll go on there. Honestly, I actually have a relatively large backlog of stuff from the last 3 years or so that hasn't been edited, hasn't been completely put up there. Some of them like entire series of stuff. Like there's an Imperial Assault board game campaign that I ran with John and with Alex that hasn't seen the light of day. There is a massive game of Cthulhu Wars, like an 8 or 9 player one that we filmed and required a lot of editing. It was quite a different style from us usually because we didn't film the whole thing. We just filmed some highlights. So that hasn't been edited and put up. We've still got to finish off the Pandemic Legacy series. But any ongoing series and the stuff I've got as a backlog in editing, I want to complete and I want to get out there. And hopefully that will happen. I'd also like to complete the streams that I've started, like the Warhammer game with Alex, the XCOM Chimera Squad game that I'm doing solo on Saturdays. I'd love to complete them and to finalise them and get them all sorted. Beyond that, the answer is, I don't know. I don't know how much. Partly depends, I guess, on how successful Telling Tales becomes, right? If that lifts off, and especially if it lifts off in a way that ATCB never really did, I'm not sure how much time or effort will go to the old girl. But that's just life, right? That's just life, and there's a hell of a lot of videos on there. And if you're a fan and you've barely touched the horrible amorphous mass of what we did, there's plenty on there for you. But yeah, the answer to that question is, I just don't know. I just don't know how much effort will go into ATCB Gaming going forward. That's it, really. I know this was a bit of an impromptu stream. There's not a huge amount of people watching this, but hopefully I'll put this on YouTube as well, and hopefully a bunch of people will see it there. But before we get into any kind of hot Orcs Must Die action, and we might get joined by a couple of people later on the stream as well, who might have a chat about how we're doing this, and for anyone who's interested, like how we're doing these roleplay streams and what it'll look like going forwards, then maybe a bit more information out there, and just, you know, talking to some people about this decision, and you can get like their views of it and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, a lot of the people in the chat are people who already know this, I guess, who are working on the channel and stuff. But if anyone in chat has any questions about this, please do shout up. If anyone wants to go, hell yeah, that sounds like a great idea, or whatever. You're struggling to find the YouTube because there aren't any videos yet. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I tell you what, I'll find that goddamn link myself, because I did definitely make the thing. I definitely made the thing. Let me view channel on YouTube. There we go. There we go. Enjoy that. That's despite the. We'll try and secure the actual name for it for the area, but because we're starting from scratch, there's a lot of things we can't do. We can't monetize, I don't think, immediately. So there you go. That's another question, I suppose, is how is this going to work with the Patreon? We don't have a huge, thriving Patreon, but it is there. And the answer is that the Patreon will simply convert itself. So it will be, at first, a kind of joint Telling Tales and ATCB Gaming one. And then maybe as ATCB Gaming takes a backseat, we'll really rework how it looks and how it functions to be focused on Telling Tales. But that's the answer to that question. Is there anything else anyone wants to ask me before I kill some orcs or something like that? I'm not expecting this to be like a huge stream, right? Because the main thing of it has been, hey, this is all the stuff. Great links. This has been all the stuff about the channel primarily, right? So if you're a random Twitch person surfing onto this for some great Orcs Must Die 2 gameplay, I mean, you won't get some great gameplay, but you will get some gameplay. But you'll have to listen to us ramble about what's going to happen with the channel first. Matt, aren't you proud of your years of work? That's my question. In a way, I am. I'm proud of work. I'm proud of having fun with the people I had fun with. I think we could have. I think we could have done better than we did if we'd have taken more care and been more fastidious about things. But and I'm a naturally pessimistic person. I'm really proud that for about 2 years, we played a whole new goddamn board game almost every week and put it live on the internet. That's something to be proud of, right? There are so many board game videos on our channel. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a cool thing to visit and have a look at if you want to see how a game plays, or you just want to see some people having nonsense. You're proud of it? You should be. You should be as well. You should be too, mate. Are you going to announce anything about the content of the new channel? Any series ideas from Chris? That's a loaded question from Christopher Coreline, because he knows damn well. Yeah. Let's talk about how that's going to work, in a bit more detail, right? For anyone who's interested. And again, apologies to anyone who's just surfed for this expecting Orcs Must Die 2. It will happen, but first, it's going to launch with one ongoing tabletop roleplay series. I know you are, mate. You are giving me the opportunity. Thank you. You are my human prompter. That sounds demeaning, but he'll love that. Don't worry. We're going to launch with essentially a launch series, which will be weekly. That will go live the first week of September, hopefully. That's the plan. I don't. Shall I? I'm not sure about mentioning what system we're going to be using or whatever. No, you know what? Let's do that. Let's talk about what that first series will be. It's going to be a tabletop roleplay system called Simbaroom. Simbaroom. I'm not sure what the official pronunciation of it is, but it is a very dark fantasy roleplay from the wonderful folks at Free League, who are making amazing games at the moment. It's not using their sort of signature proprietary D6 system that they use. It uses a different D20 based system. Don't think of it in terms of D20, D&D and stuff like that. It's quite distinct from it. One of the major, I'm not sure about selling points, but one of the major things behind it is that essentially the GM never rolls. It's all the players make all the rolls. They roll for their characters, but they also effectively, if something is done to them, if someone attacks them, they roll defense every time. So it's an interesting concept. It's a very interesting system. It's a wonderful background and lore that they've created. Looking forward to doing that, and that should launch first week of September. Our players provisionally are we've got Sam G Shabadoo, some of you may know him as, who was in a lot of the earlier content on the channel, and then fiendishly moved to Spain to avoid having to make more videos with us. But he's been on a fair amount of stuff still. He's been in some video game things and various bits and pieces over the years, but primarily did board games with us for the first year and a half or so of the kind of feverishly intense board game content. It'll be great to have him back kind of on something, working with him regularly on something online. So we've got Sam. We've got Elle, who has been kind of on and off the channel over the years, been in various bits and pieces, some board game videos. Was Elle in any role playing? I get the feeling she was in our Fiasco sessions that we did. But yeah, Elle's gonna be a part of it. That'll be exciting. We have my very good friend Mike, who I don't think has ever been on the channel, but really looking forward to him taking part. It'll be great to use the opportunity to spend some good time with Mike, and also it's the first role playing I think he's done since being in a long and very exciting and intense campaign with me a number of years ago for a system called Exalted, which is possibly my favourite role playing that I've ever run. So it's a high bar to live up to. So that'll be fun for Mike and me and everyone else. And the last person, but definitely not least, who'll be involved with this, and I've left him to last because I'm really pumped about having him more involved with stuff again, and thematic given all this kind of around me here. Orcs Must Die 2, beginning of the channel, early days. It's Chris Coreline, folks. He's coming back. He's coming home. Yeah, Chris is going to be a part of that first season as well. There's so many emoji in chat. Yeah, Chris is going to be a part of it as well, and that's really fun. That's really fun. I don't even know how much tabletop roleplay, if any, Chris has done. So that may be that could be a point of excitement as well. Yeah, but that's going to be our first series, and hopefully it's going to launch the first week of September. Symbaroum, very dark fantasy, fun stuff. The focus of Telling Tales is really going to be on kind of story-driven and character-driven, but kind of story, character, narrative. Don't think murder hobos, think kind of, drama and character relationships and epic narrative and all that kind of stuff. That's more my bag. That'll be, roughly speaking, the focus of the channel. As time goes on, I'm hoping to end up doing 2 series a week myself, and hopefully at least one other series from other GMs, whether that's like on a rotational basis every week, so we have one GM one week, one GM the next week, or ongoing ones, or whatever. We'll just have to see as we go further down the line. But that's the plan. That's the plan. Okay, Chris has played a tabletop roleplay and had a barbarian called Maximum Body Count. Well, that's definitely in keeping with this dark fantasy setting. So I'm hoping we'll have a lot of pun names like that. Have we had any other questions? When can we expect the new channel to launch officially? I've pretty much covered that, I think. Shell said, evening Shell. I kind of want to say do V5, Vampire V5. I'd love to do Vampire V5. One of the big inspirations for me in deciding to make this move, in the same way that when I originally set up the channel, one of the things that really kick-started me into it and kick-started the board game stuff on the channel was watching Shut Up and Sit Down and really enjoying that and go, I want to do something with board games online. In a similar way, I've been really quite mentally pushed into this by watching an ongoing actual play stream called Stream of Blood, which features a number of sort of nerd celebrities playing Vampire V5, and it's great, and it kind of made me go, I can do that. I'd love to do that. So yeah, I'd love to do Vampire V5. Obviously, there's the slight caveat with that my ongoing 7 or 8 year campaign offline is Vampire the Masquerade, which Shell knows because she's in. Yeah, so at any one time I'm slightly vampired out, but I'd love to do V5, Shell, I really would. Justin once ran a Werewolf Chronicle with an NPC called Chasing Waterfalls. Did they stick to the rivers and lakes that they were used to? Set up a contrived set piece, where a meeting with the PCs where NPCs recited most of TLC song Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls as actual dialogue. Great. Did I say that Justin set up the barbarian? I did mean to say Chris did. Excellent. Excellent stuff. And it looks like said wonderful guests, and again, apologies to anyone expecting to watch Orcs Must Die 2. I just put it in the tag. You know, I just put it in the tag because we'll eventually get round to it. Yeah, speaking of having some wonderful guests, let's see what we can do to bring some of that reality to life. And I've talked about our players, but you know who I haven't talked about? John, and what a really important part John is going to play in this streaming roleplay shenanigans party thing. So without any further ado, let's bring John on. But not only John, let's bring on good old Sam G, a bit of a guest. Look at that. There they are. They're with us right now. Hello.
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 Hello, Sam. How are you two?
Pretty good.
Pretty
decent.
Pretty good.
I was saying to John, I was very disappointed you didn't introduce me as the most incompetent Invisible Ink player the channel has ever had.
Yeah, I barely remember. You did some Warhammer 1 stuff as well, I think.
Yeah, I did it as vampires. I think that with Invisible Ink, I started off really bad and then just ended up kind of never losing and didn't really know what to do. So I just went on for a while. But
yeah,
I think with Warhammer, maybe something similar. But I didn't ever get very far with Warhammer.
Yeah,
I wasn't good enough.
Sam, aren't you though also the only
oh god,
Invisible Ink player on the channel?
I don't
so
know.
by definition, you are also the best.
Possible. It's possible. I might be the only Invisible Ink player who's ever played Invisible Ink on the channel, but perhaps there's another Invisible Ink player.
Yeah, I have literally never played Invisible Ink. I do own Invisible Ink, but I've never played Invisible Ink.
It's fun. Definitely fun.
I can imagine.
They've gone on to lots of good games since Invisible Ink, I feel. Clay. It's made by Clay, isn't it? You now make like...
Yeah, I think so. I think that sounds about right. I'm having a bit of a conniption about this, about getting you guys on cam here. So what I'll just do, if you'll bear with me, is I'll remove this one window capture thing I've got. And I'll do a bit of a switcheroo around here.
Hello, Chelsea Bob. You're the only one who said hello to us directly.
Hello.
So you're the only one who gets a shout out.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, let's doing this stuff right here. So yeah, so I tell you what, you guys, why don't you talk a bit about what youth? John, tell the folks at home what you're going to be doing.
Well, part of what I'm going to be doing is what Matt is struggling to do right now, so that Matt doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that.
That is exactly it. That is literally exactly it.
But yeah, also to remove burden from the GM, so he can focus on immersive storytelling. It's just because he hates messing about with windows and streams.
Yeah, it is.
While also acting as kind of a secondary GM, though I think I prefer the official title of rules lawyer. So basically, it just Matt and I go over the system together, and as it's a new system, as most of the systems we run, I suspect, are going to be new systems. It basically just, if Matt does something wrong, I can pipe up and go, well, actually.
That sounds
Except I can't do that too often, because then I will really annoy him. So I have to be polite about it.
Yeah. Circumspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evil overlord. That's a good way to put it.
Sure. Yeah, that's
lurking in the shadows.
Definitely. Yeah, that's about it, really. I think it's like a really important, like a genuinely really important role to have in stuff like this. I apologise to everyone feeling vaguely sick for what they're seeing right now with me rearranging the cams, but that's fine. There we go. We're done. Look at that. We're done. We're done. All it took was me clicking around for 10 hours. Oh, we're not done. There's a bit at the bottom.
Oh no!
What's this fucking trash about? Yeah, like, it's something I think is really important with roleplay streams and stuff, and something you don't really necessarily see enough with, like, the more, I guess, lo-fi ones, because ours is going to be lo-fi, trust you. Like, none of us are Will Wheaton, no matter what you've heard. None of us are Will Wheaton. So we have to...
for our sins.
For our sins. Thank God, right? Yeah. The revolution starts here. Yeah, so we're really going to have to, we're going to have that kind of gentle, no budget thing going on.
I like the idea of starting a revolution against liking Will Wheaton, because no one's ever disliked Will Wheaton before.
Yeah, no, he's famously the most popular member of the cast of Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah.
That's why it's a revolution.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what John's going to be doing. In some of the other stuff with other GMs, I might take on that kind of stream manager role. So you get to see John as a player and stuff. But don't worry, you'll hear from John plenty, because John will be interrupting me going, Matt, you're full of shit. This is how the rule works. But also, like, popping up nice images for us and rearranging cameras and doing crazy stuff like that. For example, whenever Sam's camera turns to a small animated cat, John can do things about it.
I think John's going to be making sure my camera is just always a small animated cat.
Yes,
that's clearly the preferable option.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do for all of your cameras.
Chat seems very comfortable with the idea of an incorrect rules klaxon, which
I back
really
that.
fits in with Simbaroom.
It sounds immersive. Yeah. So there we go. And as for Sam, well, he's going to be a player in our first series of Simbaroom, which I know he's very excited by, and I haven't paid him to say that.
I am very excited. I read like a little bit about it when you mentioned the system to me, and it seems extremely cool. Definitely like a system I would like to play in. I mean, we just as a group, we don't tend to do much fantasy of any type, even though that's kind of like the normal. I mean, it's the basic RPG setting for a lot of people, but we never really do it.
No.
And I feel like Simroom is a version of that actually fits with how we normally roleplay. Which is that more kind of narrative-driven, less statty, munchkin-y sort of thing. Yeah, we're not. And I honestly don't say this dismissively. I am a firm believer in people having their fun however they want, as long as it doesn't, hurt other people. But we're definitely not, as a group, typically we're not a kind of beer and pretzels style of role-playing. And that's what I've seen a lot of kind of online. And again, no criticism. And I know the big old streams like Tabletop and Critical Role and stuff like that's their bag. They're that kind of like beer and pretzels. Let's have jolly, wholesome fun in a fantasy world sort of thing. And that, that's just not our bag. I mean, I say that, but a fair few of people in ATCB, that's their bag as well, and that's cool. But it's not my bag, and that's what counts. I mean, it does in terms of this. Oh no, we lost to Sam.
Oh no!
But yeah, I'm sure we'll have him again in a second.
Hello?
Hello.
He's back.
That's fine.
Oh, I didn't even realize I connected.
You've gone yellow.
Classic.
You have gone yellow. Also, the dimensions on that have changed. Oh, that'll sort it. That'll be fine. You'll just have to put it with that. That's how this is working.
Nice.
We're also going to be using
camera for you.
Yeah, we're probably going to be using a different streaming system as well. Although Streamlabs has done pretty well for us so far this year, but we're going to be getting something a bit more controllable so that John can play around with cameras and stuff a bit more. Something that integrates a cam system and as a voice channel a bit more, so it's easier to flink people about while live, so I don't have to do clipping and stuff like this. I probably don't even have to do clipping on this. There probably is a perfectly easy way to do that I haven't found because I'm an idiot. But yeah. Anyway, Chris says cider and crisps rather than beer and pretzels. Yeah. We say, or maybe Whiskey and Sadness. See, Whiskey and Sadness is the kind of roleplay that we do. So, yeah, we're more Whiskey and Sadness than beer and pretzels. Wine and peanuts, again, perfectly acceptable. Yeah, but like the stuff you see does tend to be more kind of knockabout, fun. I have a level 12 bard and they have a magical squirrel companion sort of thing. And again, no problem with that, at least not publicly. But it's not our thing, and we tend to be a bit more serious. Although certainly there's some humour there.
Yeah, I think we do occasionally have like more lighthearted fun.
We absolutely
fun
do. Yeah, and I try and weave that in even with the more kind of like stereotypically grimdark stuff. There's still fun to be had. It's just I like a kind of emotional heft to my role playing and kind of more narrative driven stuff, and that's the kind of thing we'll be doing. Whiskey and Sadness minus the whiskey. Well, for me certainly, it's all sadness for me. If Justin runs stuff, it will be off tone, too whimsical. That's how I do think of Justin, just full of whimsy.
We can do with a little bit of whimsy.
We could have a little bit of whimsy.
Bit of a whimsy, just as a treat.
Bit of a whimsy on the side. That's what we like. That and small animated cats. That's what we like.
Yeah.
I think that's. Is there anything beyond that? I don't know. Any more questions from chat? Anyone hopped in with any burning questions or points to be made? I will go into more detail about exactly what's happening on the YouTube channel. I'm going to be making a video kind of fully announcing this in the next couple of days, and that'll go live, and then we'll start to build up like social media stuff. I'll do another couple of videos to try and encourage people like, hey, we're doing this thing, maybe subscribe over there instead. Not instead, also. When are you going to kill some orcs, you coward? Alright. Yep, fair enough. I'll kill some orcs. Well, my rebuttal to that, Chris, is how about you get on stream with me right now and play Orcs Must Die with me like old times, you coward. How about that? He probably can't. He's probably in his boat.
I feel like
that isn't even a
Orcs Must
metaphor.
Die. Wasn't Orcs Must Die one of the first things on the channel?
It was the first. You missed the beginning of the stream.
The first thing, Sam, on the channel was Orcs Must Die 2, which surprised me. Earlier today, I had a look at it. I was talking to John about what I should play while we're doing this. And I thought it was Lord of the Rings Online. I thought it was a Lord of the Rings Online video. I'm almost certain that's the first thing that was actually recorded with Chris. But I don't... Yeah, evidently this went live first. Who knew?
Chelsea Bob has put something in chat, which reminds me of a question that I was going to ask chat. I was going to ask whether there are any particular requests of systems they would like us to consider.
That's
not run.
Very good.
Consider.
Thing. And if you throw them in the ring, John will write them down because I don't have a pen.
Yes. And Chelsea Bob has said both V5
and Adventure. Adventure. It has an exclamation mark at the end. So Adventure, which for anyone not familiar is one of White Wolf's storyteller systems that isn't in World of Darkness. It's part of a trilogy of systems they did in the late 90s, early 2000s. Adventure, Aberrant, and Trinity. Trinity probably being the most famous of them. And Adventure is like a kind of steampunk noir adventure thing. Quite light-hearted and whimsical. And I've run a couple of things in it. Chris is an adult and thus has a Mac which doesn't play games. What? Do you not have a PC anymore, Chris? Surely you have a PC still. Do you not? This This is alarming me. Chris doesn't have a thing.
Shocking.
Lovely bitter whimsy clip there from Justin. Steve says the Alien RPG. Yeah, we played that at every year. I do like a Halloween roleplay thing, and we played that. This Halloween gone. Back when the world still went outside.
Back when you could still have 6 or more people in a room.
Yeah.
We also played the Alien story in another Halloween RPG.
We did. That was an adventure one. Yeah, because I did a kind of the first one I ran from that was basically Jurassic Park in mad steampunk world, the Cretaceous estate, and
with vampires,
with Dracula and stuff as well. Yeah,
we do whimsy.
I do whimsy, and then Aliens was the follow up.
The more I think about it, we're kind of like the exact inverse of normal, where we do like the whimsical fun stuff on Halloween, and the rest of the year we do the like depressing, horrific stuff.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. All my Halloween role plays are really light-hearted and fun, including the Alien one. That was a laugh a minute. So a few others. So Hillfolk. Or rather, Hillfolk, as Justin has written. Yeah. I'd love to run some more Hillfolk. Hillfolk. That's great.
That was fun.
Chris, is 40k Rogue Trader a TTRPG type experience? You know, it kind of is. The original 40k is a kind of blend between tabletop roleplay and skirmish wargaming. I'm not sure how well it would hold up now, and we definitely need... you definitely need to play it on a table. Like, all it has mechanics for is skirmish wargaming. But having said that, what there are dedicated 40k roleplay systems now, including one called Rogue Trader, where you are playing a Rogue Trader and the Rogue Trader's companions. They're very system heavy, but they are fun. There's they're out of print now, but I have PDFs of them all. There's another one called Death Watch where you play Space Marines. There's one called Only War where you play Imperial Guard. There's also one plot where you play Chaos and Inquisitor, Dark Heresy where you play an Inquisitor and companions as well. Would love to run them. I'm not sure how well the original 40k Rogue Trader would work unless you had a physical group there to do the skirmishy stuff as well. Although maybe via Tabletop Simulator. It's a suggestion. Put it on the list. Yes, Shell had dinosaurs in Adventure. That's right, or a dinosaur. Deirdre the dinosaur. You want the hair metal 80s 40k, not the crypto-fascist modern 40k. I mean, it's all crypto-fascist. It's just whether you view them as the good guys or not. Although, yeah, hair metal 80s 40k. There is definitely a joy to be had in that, where every character looks like they should be wearing a bolt thrower t-shirt.
Can't we just all play Noise Marines? Because they're like hair metal personified.
They are hair metal personified, yeah. In fact, I believe one of the old man story time. So Games Workshop in the late 80s and early 90s actually had a record label. And I remember one of the bands on that record label was called Wraith, but they had a couple of other bands as well. And one of them had a song called Here Come the Noise Marines. So there you go. Deathly silence. The embarrassing old man at the back of the gaming store talking on his own.
I have no idea what Noise Marine are or even would be.
They are...
You know...
Oh no!
You know Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah.
You know the Doof Warrior?
Yeah.
Imagine...
He's the guy with the big like flamethrower guitar? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's him, but as played by like
in Power
80s
Armor.
David Bowie in Power Army.
Yeah.
Okay.
Power Armor.
So like he's Noise Marines are Slaneshi Chaos Space Marines who have big... Most of them have guitars, but some of them have other kind of pseudo instruments as well that like play noise that blows up Imperial brains and stuff.
Oh god, hand.
We've got the best hand cam action on Twitch, folks. Old Man
Hooray.
Storytime could have been a great channel name. Yeah. You're not wrong. Yeah, it's possible. We could possibly, once lockdowns and stuff are lifted, do some old school 40k Rogue Trader, but also it's possible to do some other 40k actual full tabletop RPG stuff. There's also I believe, is that 40k as well? I think so. There is a new 40k roleplay system as well that's more tied to Games Workshop itself. That's a lot lighter. I can't remember the name of it, but I am quite interested in it. I think there's a version, like a V2 of it, coming out sometime soon. Honor and Glory, something like that. Blood and Glory, something.
I'd definitely be up for some 40k.
Chris would also like to see Matt run something in the Star Wars setting. Is that because you know how
Funny
much
you should
I hate
mention
Star
that.
Wars at the moment? Funny you should mention that. Oh, I mean, I have been running something until recently in Star Wars, but.
Well, I was going to say, to wet your whistle, if you want to go for old school ATCB, like if all you're interested in is Matt running Star Wars,
Sure.
then we do have a series back in the archives of ATCB. Way back.
Although we're still playing those characters, some of them at least.
We are still playing those characters offline. Yeah, the first role-playing content on the channel, I think, was Age of Rebellion. The Polemian Hall, which is the story in the core book, which the writer of it left a comment to say he thought it was one of his favourite Polemian Halls he'd ever seen. So there we go. The Fantasy Warhammer tabletop roleplay is out now and apparently very good. Yeah, it has... obviously, there's the old Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, or WFRP, as embarrassing people call it. And and that's had a couple of versions over the years, and there is a brand new version by I want to say, are they called Pinnacle 7, or is it the same people who do One Ring? I think Justin will probably know, and we'll probably pop it in chat, hopefully. But I think they're the current people who do Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and I have heard good things about it. Anything else? Any suggestions? Any questions? Or shall I? Cubicle 7. Thank you, Justin. Cubicle 7, not Pinnacle 7. Or shall I kill some orcs? For nostalgia's sake. Barely remembering how this game works.
There's an Orcs Must Die 3 now, right? But I think
in
it's
development.
Like a Stadia.
Well, there was Orcs Must Die Unchained, which was their attempt at kind of doing almost like a MOBA version of it. And it was free to play, and it was out for about 3 years, and then they just took it offline.
I think Orcs Must Die 3 is out, but is like a Stadia exclusive.
I think it's still in development, but it will be a Stadia exclusive. I don't know if it's got like early access. It might have early access on Stadia or something. But like, it's a Stadia exclusive in that it'll take a currently undetermined length of time to come to other platforms. In the same way that stuff is an Epic exclusive now.
Right. So I was going to say, that seems like a weird platform to launch an exclusive on, considering I've heard nothing about Stadia since it was launched and everyone complained about it.
Almost all I know about Stadia is that the YouTube ads are really annoying, because they're just a fucking barrage of game footage flickering every 0.5 seconds, and that annoying jingle going, and every time it happens I'm like,
what was that noise?
It's like, is this an advert for Stadia, or am I having a stroke? So
I desperately want this to go up as a video, and someone to just get the Stadia Google ad, like just after that impression of it.
Attach it to the clip. It does sound like that. I think they're saying Stadia. I think it's like Stadia, but I can't be sure. And God knows I'm not going to check before I slander them. So yeah, that's all I know about Stadia. I'm not that invested in the notion of streaming games, like a streaming games platform, because it's so reliant on your connection, and I don't care. I don't have storage problems. It's this weird thing where it's like, hey, you don't have to download and store games anymore, and it's like, that is literally the least worrying thing about PC gaming nowadays. Like, have this subscription for like, 30 quid a year, and it's like, or I could spend 30 quid on like a 2 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah.
Don't care. I'm sure it's great for people who don't have that option or who don't have. But the thing is, you think, oh, well, for people who don't want to spend lots of time downloading, maybe because they don't have a great connection. But if they don't have a great connection,
Then they can't stream.
exactly. I don't really see the appeal. But because I don't really see the appeal, it will probably be the standard in 5 years' time. So, you know.
I think the point is for people who have PCs that just can't run the game.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But even that feels like there's so many games that are really good that you don't need a good PC to run.
And, like, honestly, nowadays, like, consoles are going to start costing more than PCs. So... Yeah, I get it, but you know, maybe people can't afford that as well. I get it, but like, I don't know, I just don't see the massive appeal. Great, Steve has clipped that Stadia jingle.
Thanks, Steve.
And on that note, shall we have at least a bit of Orcs Must Die 2, so that anyone who's tuned in randomly doesn't feel completely cheated, probably having watched a man and his friends ramble for an hour about the future of a channel they do not care about. So we'll do that.
Well, if they've been sitting here watching it for an hour, they must care by now.
I hope so.
Because they've already sunk so much time into it.
Either that or they're writing a feverish and horrible critical review of this channel on very small Twitch streams monthly.
They should definitely tune in so they can also write horrible reviews of all role playing as well.
Yeah, and get all their friends to tune in as well. Yeah. That's it. But yeah, so I'll play some Orcs Must Die 2 now, but if you guys want, here's the Cliff Notes version. Are you ready to clip, folks? This is the Cliff Notes that won't be good as a clip because no one will find it funny. But ATCB Gaming, as you know it, is fading into the background a little, but may continue on with bits and pieces here and there. We are pivoting mostly to a new Twitch streaming channel and a backup YouTube for the VODs. The Twitch channel is called Telling Tales RP. The YouTube channel is called Telling Tales, and it will be focused around live streamed tabletop roleplay. I could have just done that, couldn't I? That would have done it at the beginning.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Though I think you did get the YouTube channel name wrong.
No, I didn't. It's called Telling Tales.
Is Telling Tales VOD or Telling Tales RP?
No, it's called Telling Tales.
Okay.
I got Telling Tales. No one else was using it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just couldn't get it on Twitch. You know, the main one. Because it's taken, but there's no channels listed for it, which means it's someone who has been on for ages but hasn't ever streamed. So they're wasting that name. But there we go.
Very rude.
Very rude. Yeah, okay, I'll play some I'll do now what people tuned into this for, what they've been waiting for with bated breath. I'll play some Orcs Must Die 2, a game I have not played in 4 years, according to Steam.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Shall we let you get on with it then?
Yeah, you can hang around if you want. If you want to watch the stream and criticize me as you do it, it's entirely up to you. Or you can hop off. It's your choice.
I think I'd rather criticize you in chat with the rest of the audience.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll hop off from Discord then. But it was good to have you folks on board. This is like I'm wrapping up the stream, so everyone will just jump off immediately. But yeah, thanks to Sam and John for jumping on and helping me explain what we're doing with the channel going forward. And thanks to everyone who's turned up in chat and asked questions. And now I'm just going to kill some orcs. So, Sam, John, goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Oh, okay, folks. Here we are with some Orcs Must Die 2. Classic action. I've refunded all my skulls in this spellbook. I don't know why I did that. And I don't even know what particularly I'm going to play. We're definitely going to need some barricades here. And we're probably going to need some Archer Guardians. Because that tends to be good. We are going to need some... We're definitely going to need some tar traps. Because they are the shit. Where the hell are they? Oh, does Wizard Laney not have tar traps? Is that it? That might be it. Yeah, she's got the ice fence. That's what it is. I remember this. Let's take that. This will be an absolute clusterfuck. I hope you guys know this, because it has been a long time since I played this game. Let's buy some spike traps. We need some weapons. Scepter of Domination's pretty good, right? Sorry, yeah, because you can convert them briefly, right? I remember this. And a secondary weapon of Ring of Lightning. I remember Ring of Lightning being pretty damn good. Lightning Storms, I remember them being good. Guardian Trinket? Sure. Do we need anything else? Do we need anything else? Probably. We've got a fair few things there, right? Take the acid sprayers. They're unique to her as well, I think. So, taking all the slows and stuns and all those effects that we can. I could probably buy all of these, but you don't want to sit while I do that. What else do we potentially want? Decoys? Grinders? Grinders are real good. Let's get some grinders. Yeah, okay. Swinging mace. Swinging mace is fun, isn't it? Let's get a swinging mace. Okay, I think that'll do. Let's grab a decoy, actually. Let's just grab the decoy. Very quickly. Okay, that'll do. That'll do. That'll do. It's all good. It's all good. Right, we've got this classic mode here, which clearly me and Chris didn't get far into, because this was... the Sorceress was a character I played when we did the co-op videos, I think. So let's just head to Sludge Hole, see how we do. Brimstone, floor vents, yeah, I'll grab those. Except barrels. You could jump on Discord from some old-time banter / unrelenting criticism of my off-meta play. Yeah, do it, man. Hop on the ATCB Discord thing. Hop on Streaming Voice, man. Hop on Streaming Voice and let me know when you're in there, and I'll hop on as well. That'd be great. Chris will be a much better commentator than me. Yeah, he will. He's played this game plenty. Although back in the day, like me. Something got clipped there by the look of it. Okay. Come on. Let's load in. You're not loading in because I haven't pressed space to continue. That's how that's happening. So I need to choose my defenses. So Scepter of Domination is on top. Ring of Lightning. And then we got the old ice vents somewhere. There we go. Acid sprayers. Barricades, archers. Do you want the swinging mace? Probably the shock zapper. I think that's got a longer downward range, if I recall correctly. Do we want a trinket? Or do we want another trap? I think we want... God knows what we want. Let's take a grinder. Let's take a grinder. Good old grinder. That'll do. There. Grinder. Swappy do. There we go. Okay. There we go. We got them. We got it. We got it. We got it. And okay. He's in. He's in. Let's bring him on. Let's bring on good old Chris Coreline, folks. Hello! It's Chris Coreline, probably. Hi.
Hello.
Oh my god! Oh my god, that's a terrifying sound. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, fine. I'm just desperately scrabbling for some headphones so I don't cause a massive feedback loop and end.
Why break old, tested, tried and true habits? That's what I say. Yeah, look at us on a voice channel, and a voice channel that actually fucking works, unlike all the ones we used back in the day. That was dark days when men were real men and voice channels were terrible. That's how
I actually have a lot of nostalgia for this game. It is legitimately good.
it is. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of a lot of nostalgia over like you know, it's one of those things where like, I mean, there are great co-op games now, but it really felt that like at this kind of point in time, some really good co-op games like were on the market and emerged. Stuff like this, like Left 4 Dead, it was just kind of peak days for well, for me dying for a start, but peak days for co-op gaming, I feel. Whereas now,
and also like it feels like Fortnite were treading the same path or reading from the same rulebook when they were putting their games together. There's a feel that those kind of massive viral game sensations kind of
and like especially honestly it has never occurred to me, but the look of this and Fortnite are pretty fucking similar. Like they are not far off each other. So no, I agree. And like the thing about Orcs Must Die 2 is it just had this. I mean, it helped that it was just a lot better than the first one, but also it just had this real chunky, like lovely feel to everything. Where like the amount of damage you do felt like real. Just balanced really well.
You felt like you were. I felt like I was firing a blunderbuss back in the day as well.
Yeah. Oh no, it's
satisfying.
Real good.
Also, like chaining traps together is not just good for the numbers; it's good for the soul. Like it's just nice.
Absolutely. So,
Chris, short some spin traps there, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, and like the tar, like playing on your own with the sorceress is always harder than with the war mage because tar traps are the best trap in the game. Ultimately, so
you have solutions for that. Like you slept on the flipping flame vents as well, which I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, well, that used to be our real combo back in the day, didn't it? Like tar with flame vents and brimstone and all the rest of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Flame vents, I think, are brilliant because they also are they're a form of crowd control. They separate waves and
thoroughly agreed. And I'm gonna try and ranged guys, you little bastards.
I remember these.
It's really weird thinking about this as like nostalgic gaming when like. One of the judges for me on whether gaming is nostalgic or not is like at what point in my life I was playing it, right? And I divide. I don't know about you, Chris, as a man of similar age to me, a wee bit younger, I think. But I basically split my life up into periods of when I was living at this house or when I was living in this city or whatever. And because I've stuck around York for a long time, like I essentially. Like this is that's when we were playing it, right?
Yeah,
it is. So like when so this to me is like a weirdly modern gaming experience, and yet I haven't played it in like forever, basically.
Yeah.
That
old get them to walk past the grinder combo.
Oh yeah. That's the shit.
I'm sad that like we're still missing. I don't know. Triple A's a very incorrect term for what I want to say, but we're kind of missing another go round of this kind of tower defense, enemy rooting, just mash 'em up. I think would be the best way to describe this.
Yeah, like
nostalgic, but we don't have a parallel, an analog to it these days.
There must be something. It's probably something real obvious that we're missing as well. Well, you know what actually is the parallel, and me and you did play that for a while. Is the Fortnite? I can't remember the name of the goddamn.
Oh yeah, the story mode. Yes.
Yeah. The Fortnite End of the World. Is that what it's called, or something like that? Which we played. Well, I think we were playing it before the Battle Royale mode got big, even.
Yeah, no, it was just and a little bit unfortunately because you can see all of the amazing kind of setting they kind of had for that, and then they sort of not so much backpedaled it. But the problem with something like this going viral is that your creative control suddenly you have to acknowledge that like 10 million people are now playing this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like you can you can play with your like darling mode all you want, but ultimately if you want your company to be successful, like there's a difference between you know, being able to you know, there's swings and roundabouts with it, but ultimately like you gotta, if something is literally the most popular thing in the fucking world, you have to, yeah, you have to
you have to bait that. Yeah, and I think like the Fortnite was probably the first. Oh no, bad, no grinders on that wall. There's no way. What are you going to do about? Oh, how are you going to get people to walk past that grinder?
because I'm going to put a barricade down.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're forgiven.
I'm thinking things out. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
I'm a little bit delayed, so if anyone's confused about me suddenly going back to something he did like 15 seconds ago, that's the reason.
Yeah.
He is demonstrably bad at this game, but I can't fight the laws of physics.
Yeah. There's nothing anyone can do about that. That's just how life is. Let's shore up. Can we get some archers?
They're really pathing through that.
Pathing through. I wasn't going to put them there. I was going to. So which bit are you talking about? Because you are.
Sorry, the ones at the front gate. The acid spray at the front gate on the wall beside the front gate is just.
Let me have a look. Let me. Have a look.
Maybe it's on the edge. I don't trust you, but I trust you.
Sure. I get that. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at what you're talking about here. You're talking about that one, aren't you? That one here.
I'm a long time behind you, but yeah. The most recent acid sprayer.
No, you might be right. You know, you might be right. It's probably better to put it here.
For the first time in a decade, chat.
Well, you know, I don't make the rules. Let's have a look at chat. Speaking of chat, Save the World. You're right, Shell. That mode is called Save the World, which I actually really, really like. But the world has spoken. They want the Battle Royale mode, so that's that.
Yeah.
Hello, Margaritas Forever. You love the later grind. Bloody tough, but had some excellent twine and dungeon missions where it's almost gone terribly wrong. Yeah, I really love Save the World. I really did like that, and it's such a shame, just personally for me. Not for gamers as a whole, especially like younger gamers who've obviously really embraced it. Or I'm sure saying that Fortnite is something young people play is like, oh my god, you're so old if you think that now, or something.
Have you seen
Fall Guys? You're going to talk about Fall Guys.
I was just going to mention Fall Guys.
You know, I have, and I am bloody tempted. I'll be honest. The idea of essentially Takeshi's Castle, the game.
Yeah, 100%. Like another one of those moments where, like, why the hell did no one think of this 10 years ago?
Yeah, I like almost a true battle royale. You know, like
yes, yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, I think that was great. I think it looks like a fantastic little game. It looks like a battle royale, almost like a battle royale of gang beasts. If you remember that sort of little experimental cutesy bash 'em up thing that Double Fine did.
Okay.
A while back now, but
must be, yeah.
Let's.
No, it's funny watching. I don't want to say the burgeoning esports scene around it, but the kind of big draw streamers who I enjoy watching from time to time who are getting into this are doing it in such a tongue-in-cheek manner. It's just nice to watch, like the esports scene parodying itself in real time. Now, Fall Guys, it's a solid game design, and it is to parrot Jim Sterling and his stuff, but it's one of these live service games. But I think, to go against what he would say normally, I think it's going to work really well in that mode, because this thing is going to keep giving, going to put new stuff in. And I think the same could be said for Orcs Must Die, because it's had that kind of challenge mode and new maps got dropped occasionally, but just a game before its time, I think it would be...
I agree. Well, we'll see we've talked a little bit about Orcs Must Die 3 on this, and obviously it's at the beginning at least it's going to be a Stadia exclusive. But I'd love to see what they do with it. I really would love to see what they do with it. Fall Guys is fun and good to stream. Yeah, I really imagine it's so chill as well.
I find it weird that people find that game chill because like I find it entertaining and phenomenally stressful in parts to watch.
No, that's fair enough. That is absolutely fair enough. Let's hop back to the campaign menu here and let's do the next one, but let's do it with what were the ones you wanted, Chris? Flame vents and brimstone, yeah.
Yeah, well, the flame vents are if you're playing in a situation where you've got a bottomless pit
obviously.
to dump some friends into.
Yeah.
And we, of course, we
min-maxed
min-maxed our way through this phenomenally back in the day because you already knew most of the maps beforehand, so we kind of just absolutely spec'd ourselves out for it.
Okay, let's get some brimstone in.
Yeah, brimstone as well. That's your main crowd control, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
We used to checkerboard brimstone and tar, didn't we?
We did. Just because it was cheaper. Chaos Chamber. Okay, let's go in here and see what we got. Stadia's probably going to be squished by Microsoft xCloud pretty soon. Yeah, given the
none of these solutions have worked.
No,
none of them.
No, and it's like, you know, people. I mean, people complain a lot about like Epic, and I get where they're coming from. Although I think it's this bizarre thing where they're like, oh, unsavory business practices, and it's like, I mean, sorry, do you think Steam's monopoly is not an unsavory business practice?
Yeah, you can't get the single out which business practice is unsavory in late stage capitalism. You show me a savory business practice, and I'll show you an honest landlord.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it's an odd one. You know what? I'm not feeling these acid sprayers.
Yeah. It's just
I'm actually not feeling the ice vents for that matter. Actually, I'd rather have the acid sprays than the ice vents. I think ice vents just aren't tar.
Ceiling traps. What about that?
Yeah, we got a zappy
there. That's nice.
Yeah, we got a shock
dart
zapper.
spitter has a really good proc, doesn't it? It's got like a mind control proc, if memory serves.
The dart spitter, it does. Yeah, it does if it's leveled up, which we didn't do. But I'll tell you what, I'll put that on for the next level because that is really good. What we got here? Yeah, I think I just need the acid sprayer because it's cheap.
Oh, actually, someone in chat made a good point. The chat overlay is still on the top right, but this would be a good chance for us to try my video and see how that handles, just as an impromptu live with audience of the streamy stuff.
Oh, for the cam?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can pop you up.
I'll just switch that on. Oh, you want permission to use my camera? Sure, whatever.
Hey, there's the man. There's the man himself. Let me... Oh, wow. I did still have the cam thing up, huh? That's exciting. Let me just get you as primary. And then I can... Can I actually just... No, that just shrinks it, unfortunately. Bear with me, folks. I just have to do a bit of...
Oh, here we go again.
Edit transform here. Yeah, I know. I don't know a swifter way to do it on Streamlabs. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have a minion to do this soon, so...
Exactly. Thank you, John. So yeah, that's is that 300, 200? No, that's worse. So I want to have it higher, so that's 400. There we go.
It's like editing CSS live.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that works.
That works. Look at that. We've got a Chris Coreline, folks. As if you'd ever imagine such a thing would be possible.
Again.
I think this is the first time you've had your face on the channel. Is it?
No. We did the very good advertising skit where your channel is here today.
Yeah.
I was very proud of my 5 seconds of screen time.
That was fun. That was
a well rehearsed.
That was a lovely bit of fun. Yeah, but I do remember that we had to like indicate it was you by you sitting. I think you had to like hang up an Irish flag and like. Put, like just so people would know it was you because you didn't talk in it. You just ate a sandwich morosely. And it that was a lot of fun.
Highlights reel.
No, that was a lot of fun. That's one of my favourite things we've ever done on the channel. And it was just like that was like a state of the channel video or something, right? It was like just a stupid little like we're doing all these things and we're all here together as friends, and then it just cut to you like eating a sandwich and then looking suspiciously in the sandwich as if something was wrong with the sandwich, and that was it.
dig that one out.
That was good
That's a
fun.
reason to go wading through the ATCB back catalogue this
It
evening.
absolutely is.
Ugh.
Okay, so which one of these goddamn doors opens first? That's what I want to know. This one, by the way.
I have no idea what's going on with this map.
It's
It
like
is flipping my noodle.
It's like it's just like an S thing, like a kind of semi-spiral thing with a door at the top and a door at the bottom. That's it, really. But it does look confusing until you.
I just think lava and suddenly just really want to send some orcs into it. So
I do kind of want some push traps here, but I don't have them. So what I will do instead
and
is
it's low ceiling as well. Oh, in
Yeah.
hindsight. Yeah, I think we were saying before we were min-maxing when we played this campaign. We were min-maxing at something shocking because you had kind of prior knowledge of all the maps. And
yeah,
we would have been so decked out for this.
we really
zone.
would have. So if we put that there, and we put the brimstone there, that'll do as a starter.
Yes.
That'll do as a starter. This might not be a great map for archers, honestly. I guess we can put them racked up over there, actually. I don't know. Have a lightning storm, folks. Yeah.
Oh, hello. Your friends are up there.
Any friends? Let's see. Klaxon wielding overlord. That seems to be the theme.
That's a
What
good
people
title.
want for the new channel.
Yeah. It's all I find it so often goes with these role-playing games that you set off like in this really kind of well put together, delightful, adult, semi-grim, dark fantasy, and then it's by episode 3 it's in jokes and japes.
Yeah. Mine.
Oh,
Oh my god!
I remember
The
these
new door is
kobolds.
opening already. Jeez. Okay, that's bold. That's bold of you, game. Where is the goddamn thing? Is it over here?
Oh,
It is over
lordy.
here.
Squeaky bum time already.
It kind of is, but at the same time, it's kind of not.
There it is. Hello, friends.
Zap. Yeah, we'll build this in a fairly similar way, I think.
Impromptu emergency kill box with the right click storm.
The
Good
thing
job.
is, you don't have the tar crowd control with the sorceress, but you do have her like charm thing, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, she has lovely items. Broken your golden rule of fighting them when they're near the barricades.
I know. Although, well done for remembering that golden
Catch
rule.
up with it.
They have healing on them at least. Right. Are they coming in the bottom? They're coming in the bottom. Oh, it's you fucker. Stay away.
Oh, hello, friends. It's the Cuddle Bunny.
Is the cuddle bunny. Oh my god. What are you doing? Oh, he is going for the... He doesn't actually go for the exit, does he, anyway? So, he just...
No, I thought he went for the hero.
Yeah,
Just
he
run
does.
about and spook people.
Yeah, he does. But because I'm fucking around and going through teleporters. I'm giving
Oh,
him-
you're
giving
screwing
him-
with his pathing.
Yeah.
Nice.
But we'll go in here. There we go.
Floating nearly 1,000 money credits there.
Absolutely.
Not efficient esports strategy. 3,000 now.
Yeah, but I can put them all down.
Never going to make
Pause
Team
and
Liquid at this
see.
rate.
Right, what do we want to... We've got the same thing up on both ends, right? So, what we want is a bit more killage before we hit there, I think.
Can you afford to start turfing people into the lava? Because that's free money. I'd sell all this junk
Well,
and move it forward.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a tipper. There's 2 barricades and a tipper. Oh, but then you don't get the damage from the tipper. Oh.
Yeah. But I'm gonna put a couple of them on here, and hopefully they'll work do a bit of work for me. And then I'll go downstairs, and I'm quite tempted by those archers up on this bit here. You see,
On the roof.
and they should be safe from the gnolls. Moderately safe.
I'm not so sure about that.
That was Amazing.
Yeah.
I'll put one there for now, and then we'll do. See, with these barricades here, when they come through here, they're going to come here. So having the tipper here is like, yeah, it'll tip them in, but you won't get any flame on the other side. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with them there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
damage though. It's a free kill.
It is. I'm going to do a follow-up brimstone instead.
You need the springboards. The springboards would eliminate this by not having
or they're just
separate,
the push traps as well. There's just the push traps
as well, yep.
that do the job. Do the job.
What you need is a friend to play this with and cooperate.
Well, I did ask, but apparently, you don't do PCs anymore.
No, I'm growing up. I need
You Robert Webb.
Look at all those friends. Splunky too.
Happy green friends.
I'm tempted by PS4 or PS5, mostly because there's a Neko Atsume VR game for it. And that's entirely my aesthetic. Anything that allows me to own a kitten without actually having to own a kitten.
Sure.
Oh, we have a cat now. I don't think I told you about it.
You did not tell me that you have a cat. I demand further knowledge at once.
So it's the story of how we came to be in possession of the kitten Samhain is delightful. On Halloween Eve, no less, my friends were in the pub, and no one was in fancy dress, and it was fine. It's a country pub. It's fairly dour at the best of time, but this one woman was in fancy dress and was cradling this little thing to her chest. And they were in fancy dress as well, so they went up and had a chat to her. And it was a kitten. She was cradling a kitten, and they were like, "What on earth is that? Where did that come from?" And she said it was playing outside in the roads, it was like distressed outside in the roads, so I brought it in. And they were like, "And I can't keep it. I don't know what to do. We have a dog, and it's going to eat it." And so we ended up keeping it. So it turned up on Halloween Eve, so we named it Samhain, and it is the best kitten. It's also technically a cat she, because it's all black except for a little white patch on its chest, which is like the kind of fairy that eats your soul, which we've all just agreed is absolutely fine.
I did know the word she. I did know that.
Anyway, she's nearly a year old now, at least by what we can guess. And in other news, she developed a working professional relationship with a feral cat out the back, who's also completely jet black and is like very, very old and sad and adorable. But we call that one Sawinella, which is other Samhain in Irish, but also sounds like salmonella, which I find very amusing.
Salmonella is generally agreed to be a great name for a cat.
Yeah. But there's all the kittens. You're up to date.
They're both lethal around chickens.
So tenuous, and
not
yet
bad.
So that's actually very good, given the resources you had to work with.
Yeah, it's not bad. Well, I'm always working with bad resources. I've got my brain, so it's I get used to these things. Okay, what's I want a Zappy do. I definitely want a Zappy do here.
Oh yeah, remember these? These have the deeps. Let's bring the ouch. They fire like once every 6 months, but they
kill whatever they hit, and they can chain as well, which is nice.
No, lower ceiling for that one. Surely you'd get better combo bonuses if it's right over the actual kill box rather than 1 square.
You know what, Chris? I had fucking forgotten that this has combo bonuses. So thank God you're here.
Oh.
Salmonella does like chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of the things
it's
most known for. Absolutely. Right, let's get some more orcses. Both
Prestige.
Both are going. So let's go downstairs and help with that one.
Probably, yeah. You kind of just want to be the mobile storm, lightning storm dispersal
Yeah,
unit at this
pretty
stage in the
much.
game, I think. And then
That
the
was
last
nice.
minute's 20-foot panic friend. Oh, wow, okay, that's it. Okay. No problem.
Yeah, the Ring of Lightning's insane. Easy. We can have a... Have a nice
Sure.
thing here.
Yeah, toasty friend. Don't forget your other kill box, though. Oh, but yeah. No, that's delightful.
Yeah, Knoll, like the little Knoll bastards ain't getting past this. Skull.
Very good. Oh, hello, friend.
The
Not
absolute,
that you need any more of those. You've still got like 400 to spend.
yeah, the absolute ridiculous hip action on this character model.
It was a fun dynamic, a fun story as well.
It
Like
is,
the-
you know. Yeah, yeah. The War Mage is a hilarious goofball, and
Sorceress is
who I'd
that-
hope, if they ever made a movie of it, which obviously they won't, if they ever did, I hope would be played by your boy from The Mummy, whose name I forgot.
What the man candy?
Yeah, from The Mummy. God, what's he called?
I'm so bad.
Good
at that,
lord,
just you
no,
go ahead.
I'm bad with this. Specifically with this particular character right now, apparently.
Brandon Fraser. No, the mommy,
Brendan-
not Fraser.
It is Brendan Fraser, though. It's definitely Brendan Fraser I'm thinking of. He was... we got Shell in chat. We will get mummy questions answered instantly. I know without looking that if someone said it in chat, it was Shell.
Did you ever see the Count Duckula set up an execution of the most obscene series of mommy puns imaginable?
I did not. Is
Oh
this
man,
a-
it's
is
from
this
like
a
1992, but it's
YouTube
probably
viral
the best bit.
sensation?
It's not viral. It's just from my childhood. I even remembered seeing it when it was on BBC. But it is like literally a school book in traditional comedy writing. It's the most contrived and beautiful setup of the most single-purpose pun. It's so good. It just makes me happy. Anyway,
So beautiful.
This is going alright.
yeah. Nearly. You must be nearly done by now.
Yeah, it's the last wave. There we go. Nice.
Oh, did you hear the Wachowskis acknowledged the trans coming out narrative in the Matrix, which I was super happy to hear.
I did not see that, but it does not surprise me.
Yeah. I find the most. We rewatched The Matrix recently just because we've got the big room and the crappy old projector, but it's still a nice big screen experience. That film holds up. The first one absolutely holds up.
You know, I watched it a couple of years ago. I had a rewatch of some older like trilogies and stuff. And I'll tell you what, I enjoyed it, but I feel like it's got that thing, right, of you let enough time go by and really good things become cliches because everything feeds off them and stuff.
Yeah.
It's why Tolkien can feel like cliche to some people because he defined it, sort of thing. Or at least partly defined it. And I had a similar feeling with that. Like, yeah, it was good, but it didn't... I couldn't feel it anymore, you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't really do anything for me. But one thing I
Yeah.
really had, because I watched the whole trilogy for my sins, and you know what? I was at a weird stage with it where I rewatched it and I was like, okay, maybe your third one, what's it called? Revolutions. Fucking
Yeah.
dirt, awful, wretched film, like really, really poor, kind of prequels level trash. So that's what I took from it that time I watched it a couple of years ago. But you know what?
Yeah.
Reloaded.
Second one?
For me now, I'd almost be tempted to put them on an even pegging with the first one. And I don't know if it's because I just watched it less, so it's I'm less inured to it or whatever. But like, I don't know. I feel like it expands the lore in a really interesting way. But maybe that's just me.
It does.
Maybe
I'm not condoning the man at all, but
I'm not
he did do some good work.
I'm not condoning the Matrix Reloaded.
But I'm sorry. On a separate note, there's a really good video essay, and my prefix there was to not be condoning the guy who made it, who's Movie Bob, who's gone a bit nuts in recent years. But it's very worth a watch. I think it's about an hour of your time, and he does go into the trans coming out narrative and talks in very good terms about kind of like how we missed it, how it makes so much sense, and a lot of the other stuff, like why there were sequels. And it's so interesting for stories like this because the Wachowskis do not talk about the meaning behind their films, especially not this one. And it's only that's why this is big news. That's why it's like mentionable.
Yeah.
While you're there, would you upgrade your roof darts a dart spitter before I
literally just did it. You should see me do it in a second. Yeah. Okay.
And barrels as well. Boom barrels are so good.
Do you want boom barrels? What, the boom barrel dispensers?
Yeah, dispensers are good.
Yeah.
Boom barrels are fine. They're a good way to tie up like when you've got like 100.
Yeah, when you just need to
dollars left.
Pash something down. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all right. Okay. Sure. Let's have a look at what we got here. In this third one. Shell says
Did you ever not take
she loves The Mummy and The Mummy 2. There were no other films. I haven't seen the other films, but I have heard that they're terrible. Sorry, Chris, you were saying something.
Yeah, I remember the thing about Switch as well. I think the fact that they switched Switch to not be an explicitly trans character was a real shame, but entirely expected for the era of the film.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, you're going to be spending a lot of money on barricades.
It's one of those things where, like, the narratives of a lot of stuff that people kind of retrospectively add sort of quote unquote SJW narratives to, and I'm not talking about the whole stupid Rowling stuff, but like when things like the Matrix is like, oh, they're backfilling these things in. No, it's that you couldn't have said that at the time. Because people would have flipped. Like, it's really, like, things are still bad and things are rough, but it is also worth remembering that, like, it's one of the things I talk about when I get nostalgic about the 90s, because people go, oh, yeah, but things, a lot of social stuff was still pretty rough back then. It's like, yeah, it was. But also, it was moving forward. And, like, even if things are bad, if they're moving forward, they sometimes feel more tolerable. Whereas now we feel like we're stalled and we're going backwards.
Yeah,
and that can be a lot more disheartening. But anyway, Orcs Must Die. Let's not bum people out.
Orcs do not necessarily have to die, Matt. That's a very difficult.
That's true. Well, we could get into the whole talk about the new editions of D&D.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually fairly good news as well, I suppose.
It kind of like I have multiple opinions on this, but it's. Sure.
You shouldn't really be putting moral codes. If you're building a role-playing setting, the moral codes of that setting should really be with the player. Unless you're doing like a licensed setting like Star Wars, I expect.
I don't know. I think you can build. I think you can build a moral code for a system in the same way that a film would or anything else would. It's just if you're making things black and white, you have to have them. Perhaps separated from real world issues to a vivid degree, and it's worth I don't know. I think these things are.
I honestly
debatable.
think, Matt, we're just talking nonsense here because neither of us has any idea of how to approach this actual level.
No, sure. No, I'm fairly confident here. So this one, they're going over there. Are they both going to both of them? I think they are, aren't they? So we can just block one way and make them come all the way around. Like if I block off here,
so much.
and And
Can you even? Oh, you can. You can place on the things.
if I do that, does this reroute? It does reroute. It doesn't go straight through. So, yeah, that's fine. And then they
Okay,
can,
well, that's one side we can.
yeah. And then if I I'll just do it fully. I'll just do oh god, does that work? That works, yeah. And then everything runs through. In fact, if I sell that, then I can.
This should slow them down.
Then everything routes through here, right? Yep, everything comes through here. This is my kill box. This is where the dying happens.
Nice. So close to the gate, though, to the portal.
Yeah, I don't care about that. This is a kill box, son. Things get killed.
You have exactly 1,000 work monies left to build a functioning kill box, and you don't have a swinging
No,
mace.
but I can kill the first couple of. You know what? I didn't actually go in. Can I still do my? No, I've started placing stuff, so I can't change my setup. Never mind. It's fine. It'll be fine.
I'm not sure it will, Matt.
Yeah, it'll
I'm
be
not
fine
sure
because
it
I can
will.
kill the first few waves with my traps. Easy.
Oh, acid sprayer's back. Okay. Thought we agreed that was off meta, but sure. Okay.
No, I put it back in because it's cheap.
Don't have to get to the World Championships this year. There we go.
See, I can do this.
Good job.
There we go. Piece of piss. And now what I want
Is the
to
lightning
do
cloud stunning them, or is that or is it a proc on your right click?
is the what? Sorry.
I saw two of them near the end of that wave get stunned, like straight up just stand still.
Yeah, I think the acid sprayer has a. Sometimes they get
Ah,
stunned
that's it.
thing on it.
Yeah, no. Some of them
what
are
are you
trying
doing?
to go
What are
the
you
other
doing?
way.
What are you doing?
Great.
Yeah, it's because he got a bit frazzled. They'll be fine. They've got the barricades have heal on them. Right, have I
Good.
now got enough for? What I want to do is have that, and I don't quite have enough. But what I can do is put a brimstone there.
Begin the lesson.
But and then I'll put a grinder here, and then they'll just go through a grind, a big sequence of grinders, and we'll die.
Oh, fast friends.
That's fine. They'll all die. Brimstone is a nightmare for them to do.
Yes. Oh, flambéed.
There we go.
Good job.
Uh,
Okay, first wave. Yeah.
You know what? Let's get some archer boys. Archer boys doing archer things.
Upstairs in the unassailable archer zone.
hmm
What a good map.
So I'm thinking these are the classic maps from the first game. I don't think we made our way through all of these.
We would have
We might have done it offline.
absolutely minced.
Oh, that's not where I want you. I misplaced them.
Yeah, but
Let
good
me-
field of vision.
Nah, I want them to be aiming at the kill box. Because of those combos.
Sweet
I'm
combos.
above the kill box here, right?
Sell the elves.
Ah!
Sell them. Where are you selling them to, Matt? Where are the elves going? Can you live with yourself, you monster?
They are going to a land of happiness, and they live on a farm. All right, they're going to live on a farm. They'll be happy. You can't prove anything.
Chat, these elves are not free range.
Exactly.
They live in archery cages. Oh, rangy friends. That'll sort your elves out pretty quickly.
Yeah. They won't tend to fire at them unless you. See, it's all fine.
Haven't even got to the kill box yet.
Yeah,
Spent
I
too much
probably,
money
I
on that.
probably should let them get there, shouldn't I?
Oh yes, do it for me. Oh, I love it. Oh, good kill boxes.
make sure those crossbows don't kill those archers. Get away from my back gates!
What are you doing? Absolute melters. Sort it out. There you go. You've any idea how much money we spent on this kill box and you're not even walking into it?
I know. I know. I'm letting the side down.
Here we go.
I know it's the orcs I'm complaining about.
Well, they must die.
Roasted orcs are my favorite.
Yeah, ooh, that's a nice locked spot. Okay.
It's pretty good.
I'm just worried about those archers getting
Yeah, no, fair.
rocked.
I'm
Whoa, Combo City!
Combolia, County Comfortshire.
Let's do it again.
There we go. Now what shall we do? So we could set up another grindery thing they have to go through here. That might be a thing we could do.
3,000. World is your oyster.
Orcs
You know what we
go
could do?
in,
Just that.
flesh comes out.
Let's just do that. That's fun.
Now
That'll
it's
nail
time.
an awful lot of them. Like...
Can you afford? Okay. I believe you.
Dead all in a row.
What a good game.
It's a very good game. And a very satisfying game. And one I'm actually
There must
competent at, even rarer.
So soon.
There must be other. Someone must have done this since. I'm gonna have to go and try and.
Well, yeah, like I
Find
say, I can think of like obviously Save the World for Fortnite, but
I don't think it was as visceral though. It wasn't.
no,
quite...
it wasn't. It
It,
wasn't.
it was more of a. It was more of a horde mode. This is more of a kind of. There's more tower defense and just
Yes.
inflicting
Yeah,
really quite gruesome death.
The
on,
traps are far more chunky in this than they are in Fortnite.
yeah.
That's all.
It's like you said. It feels like you're interacting with the physics of the place rather than
They don't stand a
kind
chance.
of. There's a weight to everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello. That.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That.
Line up for me, please.
Up.
Quite mean to do that, but sure. Yeah, if I was playing for the high score, then I'd absolutely be letting them get to this kill box, but...
What's your other handheld item actually? Is that the wind belt?
No. Oh my god, I could have had an extra item here. No, it's the Ring of Lightning, isn't it? Oh, do you mean my main one? It's the Scepter of Domination.
Oh, okay, sorry. Jesus, I've only just caught up with all of the layout here.
Welcome to
Fair enough.
class.
Honestly, I think I probably don't even need anything else, but we might as well. We might as well have some fun with all of this. And some extra brimstone and the like.
You want one behind the kill box now, facing into the grinder?
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't think I'll make a difference, honestly. This is the last wave. I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, but for the sake of the artistry of it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
The craft. For the craft.
I don't know, I didn't like that film.
Let them
It's a joke for all the Gen Xers out there.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a remake, wasn't there?
Yeah, I do actually remember that. I discovered the other day, Chris, that like in the same fashion, right? That obviously the thing you say if you're a young person, trademark, on the internet these days, if you want to mock someone of the booming generation, you say, "Okay, boomer." We all know this. We all know this. This is established. Do you know what you do if you want to annoy someone of Gen X? I found this out the other day. This is the thing that the kids do, that they say to people of Gen X. Do you know what it is?
Don't, because I don't engage in casual classism, but I'm not above a cheap laugh, so please continue.
It is go watch a music video. Brutal.
Savage.
Brutal.
Oh,
There
that's-
is
that's
no
mean.
Gen X, says Justin. Steve proposes, do you own a house yet? Which is...
Oh, that's also
That's also brutal.
very nasty.
Yeah. All right, I think we'll wrap up the stream now. We had some lovely Orcs Must Die 2 action. We had a wonderful surprise guest in the form of Mr. Christopher Coreline. A welcome back to him. It's been literally years since your presence on the channel, I think. The last thing we did was the Stellaris 3-player with Alex, I think. That was a while ago now.
Yeah,
that was a while ago now. But for those who do not know, maybe some viewers don't know, me and Chris basically started the channel. It was me and Chris for a long, long time. Yeah. And Chris will return with his friend, with his cute little friend, for our new channel. I'll do another recap of that. Why not? ATCB Gaming is being put on the back burner. There might be some more stuff for it. There might not be too much stuff for it. But we're pivoting to a tabletop roleplay stream focused endeavor, which will be on Twitch at Telling Tales RP, and the VODs for that will be on YouTube at Telling Tales. Feel free to follow and subscribe and all that good stuff if you want in advance. There'll be some videos explaining it a bit more coming on the YouTube channel pretty soon, and we should be launching that the first week of September. Thank you to everyone for that. Thank you to Chris. Thank you to John and Sam for being on earlier. Thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you to everyone who's viewed, especially anyone who was watching this for Orcs Must Die 2 and was very patient during the first hour of the video. And we'll see you all soon. Thanks again to everyone. And from me, from Christopher Coreline, it's goodbye for now.
Bye.
Bye.